Hello, welcome back. In our last video, we saw how to read the contents of a text file. Now, reading files is great, but we also want to be able to make changes to some of the files or create our own files. Of course, we also want to be aware that there are some files that we absolutely should not touch. Now, there are many text editors available in Linux. There are some that are really powerful and yet have a steep learning curve, and ones that are simpler and more easy to use. We're going to use one of the simpler ones known as Nano. Now, I'm currently logged in as one of my non-root users. If I look, I'm logged in as the non-root user Mike. And I'm going to create a text file in my documents folder. So why don't I actually just do this with gedit? So or a text editor. So if I open up the simple text editor and I type in hello world, and now I'm going to, actually let's prove this. I'm going to actually close that first. Let's see, ls, we're going to cd to documents. Nothing is in there right now, all right? And so if I save this, and I save this in my documents, and I'll just say file 1, and we'll click save. Now, if I type ls, we have our file 1. And we saw in the last lecture we could output that text to the screen using the cat command or the less command. All right, so there it is. Very nice. Now, we can do that using our text editor, but we also should be able to create and edit files directly from our terminal. And so now, inside of the terminal, I have this file. I can edit the file by using Nano, our terminal text editor. And so if I type Nano and then the file name, file1, it opens up this file, and I now can edit it. So I'll say, hello world, I hope you are enjoying this course. And so down below, I have a bunch of shortcuts here that we can use. The particular one we use a lot is Control X to exit. And so when I do Control X to exit, it asks me if I want to save. And so you got to hit yes or no. I'm going to say yes. And then you give the file name that we want to write it to. I want to write it right to this file, so I'm just going to keep the name the same and click enter. And so now if I cat our file, cat file1, we should see the updates. And we do, which is awesome. Hello world, I hope you're enjoying this course. And so we can use Nano to edit pre-existing files. I can also use Nano to create files. So if I call Nano with a file name that does not currently exist in this directory, so maybe I'll call Nano file2, it gives me a blank document in which I can start typing. So I'll say, goodbye, cruel world, ... And so now I'm going to hit Control X to exit. We're going to save it, and we're going to write it to file 2. So now if I type ls, it looks like that file was created, file 2, and I should be able to type cat file 2, and we can print that information. Perfect. So another way that I can create a file is using the touch command. So actually, well, yeah, why not? So I can say touch, and if I type file 3, it looks like that file is just created. There's nothing in there, though, so if I cat file 3, nothing's in there. So, and I can do this at multiple files at once. So file 4, file 5, and file 6. It looks like they're all in there. So we can also create just empty files using the touch command. We'll talk about the touch command a little bit more later on. For right now, we're going to use Nano to edit our files. So let's try to edit a pre-existing file, maybe something like a configuration file. So to do this, let's head to the root directory, so cd root. All right, and we're going to move into the etc directory, which holds our system-wide config files, so cd etc. All right, so there's all of our system-wide configuration files. We looked at the hostname file, right? So if I cat hostname, we saw that it was giving us Cali33. All right, very good. Let's see if we can edit this in Nano. So if I type Nano hostname, it looks like we've got the file, Nano open, but right here it says host name is unwritable. So any changes that I make, if I type some stuff and then hit Control X, if I try to save it, it gives me an error. I can't do it. The permission is denied. So I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to back out. So I'm going to hit no. It seems like we can read the file, but we can't write to it. It's almost like we don't have the permissions. And so we're seeing this idea of permissions again pop up. So if I do ls-tac-l for long listing, see how we get all of this stuff? I don't want all of this. I just want it for, in particular, so I'm going to clear the screen, ls-tac-l on host name. And so if I do that, we get just the file in question. And so if you look here, right, we are currently in this last group, and it looks like we only have read privileges. But if we change to the owner of the file, they have read and write privileges, and the owner is root. So I'm going to do su root and enter in my root password. And so now I've changed users. And now that I am root, let's call nano again. And so I'll say nano host name, and let's edit this file. So instead of Cali33, let's call it, I don't know, Cosmodrome. All right, Cosmodrone. And I'll save this. You can type whatever you want here for right now. I'm going to save this to my file. And so now if I, let's see, cat host name, we've effectively edited the file. So you may be asking yourself, all right, well, what does this do? Well, let's close the terminal. And if I open the terminal back up, I'm still at Cali33. Because I need to log out in order for the changes to take place. So I'm not going to log out right now, because if I log out, I think the video is going to stop recording. But the next time, why don't you log out and log back in, you'll see that your host name is going to be different. It's no longer going to be whatever it said here. It's going to change to whatever you have changed it to on your in your hostname file. And it should be, the change should occur whether or not you're one of your non-root users or your root user. And the reason why is because we changed a file in the etc folder, which is system-wide configuration files. And so we can verify that the next time we start a video, I'll re-log in, and you should see that the host name has changed from Cali33 to Cosmodrone. Let's go to our own personal directory. So let's get out of the root directory for the entire system, and let's just go to our home directory, right? So if I do pwd now, it seems like we are in, I changed to the root directory. Change to home directory. Okay. There we go. And so here we are. We're back in our home directory. If I list the files here, we know that there's some hidden files. So let's do ls-tac-a to see all of those files. Oh, I'm sorry that wasn't opened. There's some configuration files here that are particular to the user, Mike. And in particular, we're going to look at the .bashrc file. So let's open this file. Well, let's cat it to the screen first. We'll do .bashrc. And so if we scroll up, this is executed by a bash for non-login shells. So anytime we essentially open up a terminal, this code runs. All right, and it kind of dictates what's going on in our terminal session. So let's actually change this configuration file. So right now, I'm going to close this. If I open it up, you see this is what's happening. It doesn't look like anything's going on, but a lot is going on underneath the hood. So let's do ls-tac-a, and let's open up bashrc with nano so we can edit it. All right, so now I'm able to edit this file, and I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom of this file. I'm going to put just a hashtag for a comment, and I'm going to say print this message every time a terminal opens up for user Mike. And so to do this, I'm going to type a command echo, and then inside of quotations, I'm going to put tac, 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 welcome to the machine, tac, tac, tac. All right, and so we've edited this configuration file now for the user Mike. What echo does is it prints to the screen this information right here. So if I click Control X, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to write that to the file. For instance, inside of the terminal right here, if I just echo hi, it echoes to the terminal, hi. I will give it, print back whatever we give it. So now if I close the terminal and I open it back up for the user Mike, we see that the behavior of that kind of command or script has changed. And so now it's initially saying, welcome to the machine. If I switch users to someone else, like SU, we'll do root. Nothing gets shown here for the root user. But if I exit out and I go back to Mike and I open this terminal again, we see that our little message appears here. And so this change is only specific to our user. So if we logged into another account, we shouldn't be able to see it. Perfect. Now we know how to create and edit files using Nano. In our next video, we're going to see how we can manipulate these files by copying them, moving them, and removing them from the system. I will see you in the next video.